So hi everyone, welcome to Terra Virtua Talks, and this week it's Terra Virtua Talks Metaverse, and we're talking gaming. On the line, we've got Zayanab from Nitro League, we've got Neil from Stainless Games, and we've got Doug from Terra Virtua Studios. So guys, great to have you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Harry.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to see you. First up, we've got what excites you about gaming in the metaverse? Quite a broad question. Doug, what are your thoughts on that topic?
Look, gaming in the metaverse, in my mind, it's already here. I mean, I've got a kid who plays Roblox. To me, that's the biggest metaverse gaming community in the world. 50 million daily active users. So, look, gaming in the metaverse is all about that. It's all about finally bringing in, the mass market, the real gamers, but then having this the blockchain aspect to it. And I know, having been last week at GamesBeat, there's a lot of this going on. It's very polarizing, the whole play to earn, play and own, all this stuff. But I do believe in blockchain NFT gaming, and I do think that because it's so nascent and so early on, there's a lot of growth there. And now that we have some real game companies that are building some great stuff, that's what excites me about it. Just a tremendous, upside that we have right now.
And Neil, what are your thoughts?
Well, the thing is, there's no doubt that it is the future, and you have to embrace it. And people are resistant to change; they're resistant to new things, and also with the slightly more dubious aspects of the whole crypto thing, there's going to be suspicion as well. However, it forms a part of where we now live and will do in the future. Increasingly, the important thing is to get in there and get involved and take advantage of what positive things that it offers, as opposed to any dwelling on the negative side.
Finally, Zainab, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, anything is possible. What we're seeing right now, Snoop Dogg owning land elsewhere, being able to have apes have their own land, all of this is possible. Anything you can create, you can bring into the metaverse. But also, when you're looking at traditional gaming, your PlayStations and your Xboxes, it's an amalgamation of what the metaverse and play to earn gaming does with the PlayStation gaming and all the traditional games that you have. Now your tokens and your coins and your XP is tangible currency, which can be converted into fiat currency. That's insane. That's insane. Who would have thought of that 10 years ago? Well, no, maybe 15 years ago. Who would have thought of that? So it's such an exciting space.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of touched on it there, that it's already here, and it's important that we just embrace it. So, Doug, over to you. Can you tell us about the launch of Terra Virtua Studios and your ambitions for the project?
Terra Virtua Studios is actually a full circle destination from where Terra Virtua started at 5 years ago. We initially started out as a VR games platform, all built in Unreal and everything. And so the DNA for Terra Virtua has always been in gaming. And once we pivoted into digital collectibles and then started moving into gaming, in which Nitro League was our first partner as a game partner and a game provider. And so Terra Virtua Studios to me is just a natural progression. It's a NFT blockchain-based independent game studio. And from the very beginning, we have to build games for gamers. This is not play to earn. This is not, what everybody thinks is a Ponzi scheme, or lots of people think, this has to be games for game's sake. And if you do that, and then you can layer on some of the economy, some of the cool things of blockchain, the cool things of NFT and ownership and all that, then we're talking about a whole new paradigm for games. Stainless, they were our first sort of first party game studio that we're building, that we're funding and everything. And then we have some folks we're building internally, hiring people. So we really have a lot of plans for this to be. It's AAA gaming first. It has to be. Otherwise, it's never going to work. No matter how much money other companies are out there with play to earn happening, the quality of the gaming has to be first and foremost.
And the first game in developed is a VFlex title, as I understand, with Stainless Games. Neil, can you tell us a little bit more about that at this stage?
Yeah, sure. It is the game at the moment. It doesn't have a title because currently we're concentrating on the gameplay mechanics. The lore and the backstory for the game is being worked on as well, but that'll come along a little later. And with it, the title. So it's the game at the moment. It's a tactical action puzzler where the player assembles a squad of 3 V-Flects and to get through levels filled with traps, hazards, and enemies. It features all new V-Flects that are currently in development that'll launch along with the game or possibly ahead of the game. Each of the V-Flex squad members performs a tailored role in the game. So some are faster, some are more maneuverable or well-armored, or pack a bigger punch. We'll have the fighter class, mover, hacker, hybrid. The names kind of speak for themselves in terms of what their roles will be. You have one V-Flex on the playfield, and then turn by turn the player can tag their squad members in and out as depending on their roles and which one to use will be most appropriate. So these new V-Flects, they're going to be modular in the way that they're made. They're comprised of head, torso, hips modules. Each of those modules has a set of cards associated with it, and all those cards make up a deck of cards. And the deck of cards is what you actually use during play to make your way across the board, take your turn. So as players level up, they'll unlock the ability to equip different modules into their V-Flects and customize their deck of cards that they can use in play. So the levels, which we call playfields, they present puzzles to the player: how to get across, how to avoid hazards like fire pits, gun turrets, and also they also feature the main antagonists of the game, the deflects, which are like the defective evil enemies that need to be avoided or destroyed. They'll be in a variety of classes as well. There's patroller, pusher, zapper. Again, pretty self-explanatory names for what these nasties will do. And that's in essence, that's what the game is.
Sounds very exciting. Sounds great.
If I might interrupt real quick, if folks out there don't know about Stainless background, these guys they've been around since most people have even, played games. But they're one of my favorite franchises, Armageddon. And they did this. It's amazing. And then they did this little tiny game called Magic the Gathering, which nobody's ever heard of. But they've forgotten more about game design and how to make AAA games than most people will ever know. So we're really, really lucky to have partnered with Neil and his team. So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. That's very, very kind of you to say so. And the thing is that we make games that we want to play. That's the thing. We're all avid gamers. We love gaming. We concentrate on getting a playable prototype working as early as possible, which means we can then get in there, play the game, ensure that it's fun. And we know that if we're enjoying playing it, then other people are going to enjoy it as well.
I think it's really good to have Stainless on board as that kind of games first, and the rest of the project later, which is really exciting for the players, which is the most important thing. And onto the kind of next topic, which is Metaverse Gaming. One of the ambitions is for characters, items, to be able to move across different worlds and for the players to be able to take those items with them. And a question starting with Zayanab, how close are we to that point, to that ambition being realized in the Metaverse space?
Oh, very close. Very close. So I'll give you an example within Nitro League. We call it Metaverses Linked. Where you can bring your NFTs from outside of our space and into ours. And we've got our main hub in the game is your garage, and that's your point where all of your NFTs are stored, your race cars are stored in Nitro League. But you can also have your NFT, your Bored Ape can come in and be a skin on the car of your race car. We can hang them up on the wall in your garage. We're even talking about having gallery space in your garage where you can feature your own NFT artwork or your collections there. It's your space to do what you want with it, and that's quite exciting. We're also looking at bringing other NFT artists in this space to have them as your avatars. So we're actually providing a multi-use case for NFTs in this space where everyone's minting an NFT these days. But if you really do love your NFT, your crypto kitty, your stick figure, whatever it is that you would have minted, you can have that as your NFT, as your avatar, and bring it into that space. So we're not too far away from it, in my opinion.
Wow, that's really exciting. And Neil, is that been something you've been considered as you've been building your game as well?
We have been discussing it. We're discussing it with Terra Virtua, obviously. Obviously, in our game, the V-Flex are the stars. We also have the antagonist, the D-Flex, as well. Given that these are, intrinsic to the Terra Virtua metaverse, it's going to be something that I'm sure will be incorporated across the other projects that are going on.
And Doug, is that something obviously specifically to stay in this game? You've got that question.
Yeah, I mean, I think, that was always one of the promises of blockchain gaming and NFTs was interoperability. Having listened to some talks and actually I probably some more today here at Pocket Gamer Connect in Seattle. Interoperability it's one of the hardest things to do in this space, particularly when you're talking about disparate games from disparate publishers and different developers. There has to be some sort of a baseline, whether it's an avatar, whether it's NFTs, whether it's in-game items, whether it's whatever. Taking things across different games is extremely difficult to do, and it will be going forward. But I think it has to start with, someone like an indie game publisher, an indie game developer with partners who are willing to say, okay, tell you what, let's work in this platform. Let's be able to do this. Let's do this. I mean, again, you can't take something from World of Warcraft into Call of Duty or, Grand Theft Auto into Roblox. It's just going to be hard or impossible, but you have to start somewhere. And I do believe that we're trying to build this ecosystem, and in a metaverse where we're trying to create some baseline consistencies in terms of platform and file types and things. We can do this, and that's what's going to be very attractive. And again, it's all about creating utility. It's all about creating engagement. That's what's going to happen. If we can do this right, we can create utility and engagement for NFTs because they have more things to do than just a single game or a single metaverse or a single activity. We can do that. And so again, it's early on. We have to do it. And I think this is a good start. I think it's a great start, actually.
We'll also, we're developing a whole very distinctive future Earth virtual cityscape environment that the player moves through during the game. Within the future releases or updates to the game will also feature the place where the player can actually keep all their stuff, their characters. That is the kind of thing also that you can kind of see moving out across other games or being incorporated into the whole metaverse as an environment that people can actually choose to have as the space where they live in the metaverse.
That's awesome. And Zayanab, Nitro League, it's been very successful so far. You've had your first drop and your second drop upcoming, and I think the first drop pretty much sold out. And
sold out. Yeah. Thank you, Terra Virtua Marketplace.
And this is a really exciting project, for the industry as a whole, but also working on it with you through Terra Virtua. What have you learned so far in working on the game, and what's coming up next? Honestly,
there's so much we want to do, and we're adding more and more to the project as we progress, because I think it was Doug who said it, or Neil, sorry, forgive me, in the beginning. It's about the game. It's more about the quality of the game. And what we want to do is not be a play to earn game. We're looking at being gamers first. And it's very hard to be able to do that when you've got about 300 games that are coming out in this year that are play to earn. And a lot of guilds and a lot of people are keen on jumping on that bandwagon because obviously there is a massive interest in being able to play something and then earn some cash back. Where do you go beyond that? I mean, that will be a quick fad in some ways, but then where do you move beyond that? You need to have a game that is quality, that will keep the users and the players engaged, that will bring on new users from the gaming environment to the crypto gaming and into our game. How do you maintain that, and how do you maintain the integrity of your game and keep that interest? So we're not focused just on onboarding guilds and a multitude of people to come and play. Yes, we want them to play, but we are looking at solo players, and we're thinking, because I'm a gamer, I love my games, we're all gamers, and we sit together and we're thinking, is this interesting enough for me to go and race? And how would I design my track? What would I do later on? How would I up the ante there, upgrading my car, changing the designs of tracks? So our tracks are NFTs as well. I can customize them as well. You've got missions that you'll be going on. You've got to look at it and continuously keep cracking on, but step back and say, am I actually building something that I would want to play as a gamer? Is this interesting enough and is there longevity enough in this game where we will have people loving it like they love Need for Speed and Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo? This is what we're looking at here. And it's rushing to get something out that's quality and that's excellent, but also that's interesting enough and that'll last a great length of time. So that's our biggest challenge, I think, so far.
Play to earn, play to own, as it's kind of beginning to evolve, and NFT games, they've been quite controversial topics within the industry. First, Doug, as developers exploring this area, what are your thoughts around some of the, reception that it's had and maybe changing some perceptions?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the play to earn aspect of it because that just implies grinding and I understand, about Axie and some of the games that are out there and the massive numbers that they're doing, but it is, and some of the good that they're doing for that. But I do believe that if you're going to create a franchises and you're going to sort of, introduce a new mechanic into gaming, there has to be more than that, and you have to appeal to the gamers. This is never going to become a mass market. It's still pretty much the crypto geeks and crypto nerds who are really embracing this. And yeah, that's becoming a much bigger audience. But if we really want to get mass market, hell, there's 3 billion gamers out there. That's mass market. That's something that you can do. And in the end, I believe that play to earn, play to own, play and own. Well, I think it's a good thing, and I think it adds another layer of appeal onto gaming. It still has to be a great game first. No matter what, because in the end, there might be some times when the market's down, like it is right now, where that might not be an option. You need to have people come and still play because they like to play the damn game. It has to be a fun game because sometimes earning and owning might not be that great of a thing. That's just how this whole market works and how this industry is. So you really need to have something that's compelling even through the tough times. And then if you're creating a franchise, what Zayanab's doing, she's talking about Need for Speed, she's talking about these iconic racing games. If you want to do that, it has to be a really good franchise first, and it has to create a great IP. This can be layered on top, and where we're creating new mechanics and things. People keep going back. Well, freemium was not a good thing. At first people hated it. Now it's the number one, revenue generator out there from a gaming mechanic economy. But we're kind of still at square one, and I think there's going to be a lot of just a ton of evolution going on over the next couple of years. And I think that we have a really good team here to make that happen. So, I'm not sold on play to earn. I like play and own. I like engage and own. I think that this should be taken across the metaverses as well. You have to be able to have something. I'll get to this in the next question. But anyway.
Sorry, I'll jump in. I agree with what you're saying, Doug. But if you look at like these players in Fortnite who've made a career out of it in esports, these are the guys who've been playing, and it's not a It's not it is their livelihood in a different perspective than the play to earn tag people are tagged against. So imagine that I could actually end up making a living and a career out of playing something, playing a game that I love, like Fortnite. But there are other people on the other spectrum that are actually working and then playing, but earning their money to feed their family off of that as well. So yeah, there are a lot of pluses to it, but yes, I mean, there are a lot of people who've jumped on this bandwagon and changed the taste in our mouths with the term play to earn. But there are a lot of opportunities here. I just want my kid to go to college first before he does it.
Exactly.
I think
that's a very good point.
I think it's important point is changing perceptions around what gaming is and what it is to different people. And I think Neil, with Stainless, you've got an incredible history in games development, all the way back for some brilliant games that were I played as a kid, and I'm sure everybody else did as well. When you came to the space, how important was it that you ensured that it was going to be delivered in the right way?
That's absolutely critical. I think as we move forward with this, one of the most important things to do is to distance as far as possible the player from the whole mystique and strangeness surrounding crypto and all of that kind of specialized world that is. You need to kind of keep as much of that out of the way of the player as possible, really. I think. I mean, that was the thing that I found most difficult getting into this was understanding the world of crypto, and I still don't really have a very good understanding of it. I have other people who do that for me. So yeah, it's got its place and it's not going to go away. But as we keep on saying, just making games that people want to play and they're going to enjoy playing, and not having them worry about wallets and blockchain stuff and all the rest of it. That's going to be really critical to making this a success.
Absolutely. I think it's interesting that eventually probably people will be playing blockchain games and they won't even realize, or
yeah, exactly, that's the goal. Yeah,
or really care that much. It's just one of those things. But Zayanab, you touched on it a moment ago, mentioning a few of those big franchises, like Grand Theft Auto and that kind of thing, which they've got millions and probably billions of players worldwide. But there's been a lot of talk about crypto gaming and when it's going to be accepted by the mainstream, with kind of big developers jumping into the space. And obviously we've seen a few developers get into the space and then retreat rather quickly due to reception. When do you think that we might see a big player coming in and more of the mainstream adopting this type of game?
As soon as we bring on games, and this is my crushing on them, the Star Atlases of this space. When you bring in games of that enormity and that kind of quality, we haven't seen the game yet, but from what we're seeing right now, when we start bringing quality products in, you start luring in these gamers and their curiosity, because when you do have a love of the game and you have a love for the graphics and the artwork, I mean, I can't wait till God of War comes out right now. The new graphics, I've been playing it for 15 years nearly, but I can't wait to see that. And now I'm intrigued with Star Atlas. I still don't know how I'm going to be able to play it, and it seems complicated to me, but it's so beautiful. The storyline is fantastic, and the engagement and the continuous play, and you do get lost into that space. So I do believe when you have a good game, like Doug was saying, AAA, it's got to be AAA, it's got to be quality, it's got to be good. This is the way you bring people who have a love of those franchises in, and you lure them into this space because you're actually bringing something just as good, if not better, and advantageous as well into this space. I think we'll see that throughout this year as the games are released, and then in the coming year as well. not too far away from getting some insight there.
I think the beauty of Nitro League is that because you've built it from the ground up, you can make sure that you are reaching audiences and making sure they're entertained.
And the cars are beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
I really love the cars. I know they're mine, but I
killer.
really love the cars. The environment's fantastic. You know, when you do play, you want to go and explore. You want to be able to go and see all of that. That if you're able to do that as a developer and as a designer for your project, then you're already winning. If you can earn the love from your followers and the gamers there, and they're interested enough. So far so good.
And Doug, when do you think the mainstream are going to embrace metaverse gaming?
You know, I think about this because I was doing mobile games back in 1999 when we still had Java handsets and black and white, and we had the first Tetris game on a Nextel handset Motorola flip phone. And I remember going out and talking to licensors, you know, the sports leagues and theater, you know, movie studios and stuff, and saying, I swear to God, someday you're going to be able to watch and play a game on this and watch a movie. And they're like, yeah, Dyer, whatever. You're crazy. I look at this in the same sort of vein. Back then, it was Jamdat and a couple of these little small startups. The big studios hadn't embraced it yet. We were the first one. We were THQ. So at the time, we were big. You know, now I think we're Embracer, but it was a long time ago. But I look at this as sort of that same early days, and it's going to take a while. I think it's going to be, for mobile gaming, I think it was the iPhone moment that really sort of made it sort of burst into the mainstream. I'm not think that we have to have sort of a big bang moment at this point for play to earn or metaverse games, but I do think that we need to have something happen. I'm looking at the metaverses out there right now, and without saying any names, they have 1,000 daily active users here and there, and I know it's early on, but there has to be engagement. There has to be the reason why Roblox and Grand Theft Auto and these real metaverse type products have millions of daily active users, because there's always something to do there. NPCs, even if you're just the only person there, you can go out and punch somebody or run somebody or interact with somebody. There's always something to do. Spotify just launched Spotify Island on Roblox the other day, and it's fantastic. It's very interactive and stuff. And I think that we need to get to that point where gaming has to integrate into the metaverse worlds, and they have to have something that's going to be connected. You have to be able to take your avatar out, run it into another game, go out into the metaverse, hang with your buddies, do something. It can't just be event-based. There has to be stuff to do there. And I think that once people are able to do that and they're like, wow, this really is working. It's not just me and my avatar in this one game, and then I got to log into another one, and then I got to log into another one, and I can't do anything. It has to have the interoperability, and it has to have engagement. There has to be a reason to go there multiple times per day, every single day. Right now, I'm going to build my house, and then what am I going to do there? Am I ever going to come back again? I'm going to build my building unless there's an event, unless Snoop has an event or something like that. These things have to be truly engaging worlds, and the games have to be connected seamlessly into these. And I think that that's when sort of the games and the gamers and everybody are going to say, wow, this is really cool. I've got multiple experiences in this one big, cool world that will take me potentially years to explore everything. So to me, that's kind of where it is. I know it's going to take a long time to get there, but we have to get there incrementally. And I think that it has to start somewhere. And I think we've got a really, really good start to it here.
Brilliant. And Neil, your final thoughts? When are we going to see the mainstream come to the metaverse and play games?
I think as the metaverse increasingly does become part of everybody's everyday life, I mean, we've just been through a few years of everybody living just at home, doing everything from a desk. And in the future, I think that that's going to increasingly be the way that people live. And they're going to spend a lot of their time in an alternative reality that we're referring to as the metaverse. What you need is for something to become ubiquitous as the way in which you use it. You want the Google or the Amazon of the metaverse. Maybe that's going to be Terra Virtua. When it's second nature for everybody to basically go to that place, that's when it's going to become natural that's what you're doing.
As long as my kids get their college degrees first. So
yes,
you know.
yes, amen.
I think that's the big takeaway from our discussion today. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Real pleasure to have you guys. Doug, Neil, Zayanab, thanks so much. Best of luck with all the projects. Keep us up to date, and look forward to chatting again soon.